Hello viewers, Super GT here. Stock Car Challenge is back. Here we go then, I'm going to take the Saleen S7. So the idea is very simple. I don't tune the car up. You can see there 744 PI, where you can normally tune the car up to 800. So we're at a big disadvantage. Kicking things off at Rio, and we're kicking off with an absolute smasher of a start. There we go, just your typical start really. As we've barely made it about 5 metres before the absolute carnage and anarchy has taken over. So Rio de Janeiro actually stands for Rama's Paradise, or it means Rama's Paradise in English. It's a little known fact actually. So the Saleen S7, it's a very good car actually in S-Class when it's tuned up. Obviously in stock I'm giving away quite a lot of PI, 56 PI I'm losing out on, as it's getting even more fiery around this corner. Plenty of people spinning out. So my main aim really is, if possible, get on the podium in any of the races I do. I think that's quite a difficult ask. If not, then at least in the top half. I think that's a realistic aim. Obviously it can be very difficult, but the main thing you're kind of relying on here is everyone just to smash the shit out of each other, which, well, you can rely on that basically, let's put it that way. Normally at the start, as we saw, you got the massive pile up. If I was on pole position, I'll be long gone by now. I'll probably win this race already on lap 1. So going through up the winding streets, plenty more people taking each other out. I'm going to just go through the tiniest gaps up into 11th. This guy, the Spaniard, bounces off the wall into the GT40. I'm going to brake too late now, smash into the back of the GT40, and he's actually going to recover that quite nicely. And 100% blame goes on him. It's always the other driver's fault, of course, when you're playing any racing game. So he recovers, keeps 9th, full GT40s all over the place. That thing is very, very quick in S-Class. Borderline OP, a bit deep at the bottom of the hill, trying to go past him. But this section of the circuit is very, very narrow, and normally just one single file through here, one at a time. And again, I had the speed to kind of go past him there, but not quite being able to make it stick. So then into the final couple of corners, you see they're just closing up to the back of him once again. It's a full GT generational battle here, with the new full GT getting thrown off to the side as we warp forwards in hyperspeed mode round to turn number 3. And he's just going to forget to brake really, just forget about the left trigger, just go straight into the wall using the old classic PGR wall riding technique. And he's come back here, it's actually death himself. Look at that livery, there he goes, quite ominous when he's that close to you for the whole race. Into the Rio Love Tunnel, around the outside of the GT40. Actually I don't think he's got full control of that car, if I'm honest, as I sweep into 8th position, and you can see just looking behind there, we're wiping each other out. Overtook one more person as they quit. So finishing 7th out of 14, which is just inside the top half. There are the results. Lapping about as quick as 4th and 5th, and 3rd for that matter. So not too bad actually. As we move to Lime Rock, which could possibly be the worst track for this car. I've got poor brakes, and it's very stiff. This is very much a handling circuit, and it doesn't really like the tight chicanes. Off the line we go, someone darting immediately to the left hand side. Ferrari off on the grass. So I'm just going to go with my old trusted tactic here of just keeping very, very narrow on the inside line. And you can see again it's just going to kick off through turn 1, and it's kind of worked out for me up into 10th, and just look at behind, it's turned into a car park. This guy's going to pull off the nicest rejoin of the century. He's putting off a total 90. I'm going to bring back the Nike brand total 90 to brand that actual type of rejoin there. Obviously signifying the amount of degrees relative to the circuit that he pulled back onto the track with. So plenty more carnage going off at this chicane, getting bumped in the rear end. They're all queuing up to go past me. I'm in 5th place somehow. Find myself all the way up in the top quarter.
Peggy 18.
You didn't see anything there. As we go down the hill, ACR Jones around the outside in the Mitsubishi Evo, sweeping around easily past me. So I think once you, I mean, if you're going to get a good driver up against me, then I've got no chance. And these three are looking up the inside. I'm going to have to brake early. The brakes aren't good on this. F50 on the inside, he's through. And they all sweep through eventually. So I'm down now into 9th. These two are going to wipe each other out. I'm just going to try and help him round. If anything, I pushed him way too far the other way. But I reclaimed 7th, which is still top 3rd at the moment. The Saleen S7, yeah, the brakes aren't brilliant, but that's to be expected in these kind of supercars, and especially in the stock one. More carnage kicking off at the chicane. I'm into the Viper momentarily. ACR Jones recovers first out of the group. He keeps 4th, but I'm up into 5th. I've gained 2 out of that. So I braked a little late, a little clumsy into the side of ACR Jones, but it probably wouldn't have happened if they had all kind of stayed on the track properly. So they're through the chicane, down the hill, into the final turn. We're going to have our work cut out from here to the end of the race. The Viper now alongside. I don't think there's much chance I can outbrake him around the outside into turn 1. It's going to be one of those kind of defensive races where you get a good start and then all the fast people eventually will try and get past you. So I have my work cut out now to try and keep a good position. I'm in 6th. If I can finish here, that would be very pleasing indeed. So we're winding around the left into the right. Is he going to get a cut back on me? I'm seeing that orange proximity arrow. He hasn't gone for it though. Into the chicane, braking nice and early this time. And the Viper's into the barrier. So I've gained back that position. It's absolute anarchy here. Quite what is going on, I don't know. Gaining positions, losing positions every other corner, it seems. The Viper all over the back of me now. Taking the typical cut line. As long as you get 2 wheels on that curb, then it's registered as clean. So for the final corner, a bit clumsy through there, receiving a tap in the rear end from the SRT Viper there into turn 1. So I'm doing a good job of defending. All I can do really is just hold my line. I go a little deep. So as I say, I'm doing a good job, I do a bad job, and then 3 cars will go through. So I'm down into 8th. Nice big gap behind though. So I don't have to worry too much at the moment. Just set a good lap and hope again that these guys go about killing each other, which may well happen as we're now coming up into the tricky and twisty little chicane here. Very, very hard to get right, especially with those tyres strategically positioned for maximum carnage. Good job turn 10, I love that. Up into the final chicane. Very misleading chicane this. And this is the part where we see the most sensible thing I've seen done in Forza in an extremely long time. First place award goes to this guy. He's going to come back on a weird angle and he decides just to back out and let me go. Extremely sensible that. That could have ended badly. I mean, I would have seen it, I would have adjusted myself. But it's very rare that you see such shows of just being a sensible human being, basically. So this guy is probably my new favourite person in the Viper. He did just hit a tyre wall a second ago, so swings and roundabouts really for him, but I'm sure he has a good heart deep down. As now we only have less than 3 laps to go. 2 laps after we complete this one. Now the Viper's he's gonna catch back up with me very quickly. You see just how quickly the guys ahead have actually pulled away now that they've got clean air, not fighting with each other, not fighting with the tyre walls. As we come through the chicane, taking a little bit better, getting better and better as we go on, trying to understand the car. So he's going to look up the inside, not really going to fight it, down into 8th. So swinging round this chicane, over the crest and into the final turn. Lap 5 is coming to a close, 5 minutes into the race. So lapping just under a minute when you got a clean lap. Or are we? Yes, we are. Yeah, about 58.4 this time around. 2 laps to go. We've got Shedden behind us, who I know is a very, very quick guy. And even though the gap was about 700 feet going into turn 1, that is not a big gap at all when you've got a stock car against a good driver. So we've got to watch out from behind. Could go down to 9th. And we just spotted a driver going very slowly up ahead. So more possible carnage into the chicane then. And that exact thing has happened. He's gone flying. Let's have a look. He's just gone into the wall. The Viper had nowhere to go other than just to punt him into the air and make him do a nice little acrobatic 360. So now, look at this, I'm in 6th place. How about that, with 1 lap left to go. As I said though, Shedden is closing in very quickly. In fact, the gap was 700 feet at the beginning of the lap. It's now down to 200. So he's reeled in 500 feet. So I've basically got no chance unless I just go defensive AF for the remainder of this race. It is a pretty big car, this, and the corners are very tight. So I can probably make this happen. He's already on the back of me. Going a little bit deep there. Although I'm just going to cover kind of the inside line and the middle ground, so it's going to be really hard for him to go for that pass. Just about got the acceleration. The acceleration of this car isn't too bad in stock form. It's just the stiff handling and the brakes. I'm going to struggle around the corners. There he is, poking into the bottom of the screen. I'm going to make him go left. I want the inside line for this final chicane. He can go the very, very long way round, and that is not quite going to work out for him. It's a very long corner, that. Very difficult to do that. So, into the final turn, as long as I don't bottle this, and we haven't, I'm going to keep 6th place. Wow, how about that? That was a really good race actually. Top 3rd in the final standings. 6th place, baby. Oh yeah. Super GT video confirmed, of course. And we're going to move on to the next race, Brands Hatch Indy. So another kind of circuit which probably shouldn't really suit this car. But we're going to do our best and see what we can manage. Always good fun in a stock car. It's always a good challenge actually. So I'm going to stick again. You see just how successful that is. Stick to the inside line, keep really narrow, and you'll make up plenty of positions. It does often work. So immediately up into 7th, and I started about 13th or something. So a good haul of the beginning of this lap. And it's only half a lap gone so far. So up behind the Chevrolet into, so this is the Indy circuit, so we're going to take this corner a lot quicker as we then fly into clearways. At the end of the lap, the McLaren gets punted on by the Chevrolet, so he's going to be angry. Rage levels are very high with this guy now, I'd imagine, so I'm going to have to try to keep quite clear of him. And in order to do that, I'm just going to go flying in for an amazing lunge from so far back. Bit of contact all the way through. He's going to cut me back though, surely. Yes, he is. There he is. Back into 6th. I'm in 7th, which again is not too bad. But as we saw at Lime Rock and I suppose Rio, if you get a good start, then you're going to get overtaken later on. As we receive some contact, we kind of tried to go side by side into that corner, and it didn't work out. So now I've been smothered by the pack. I've got this little Subaru 360 actually trying to get past me. He did briefly. Full GT just ahead in 7th. So rounding out the final turn onto the main straight. We are well and truly within the pack now, so this is going to be really difficult. We've got 3 guys behind. I'm in 8th place into turn 1, and I've got it all wrong. A little bit deep, yes, way too deep, onto the gravel, losing a couple of positions, 3 positions, which obviously is not a good way to go about that lap. Into turn 1 again. Now this time the Porsche goes a little bit deep. Ford GT recovering. Gonna go past those 2 guys up into 9th. 2 positions gained. So even though yes, it was a very big and stupid mistake by me, there's still potential for some positions to be gained here. You can see 3 people immediately ahead of us. That would equal 6th place if I could overtake all 3 of them. So I suppose that's my aim from here to the end. If we can do that, then I shall be pleased. Through the sweeping left into the fast kink right, then the very difficult final turn here. Never quite know where to apex on that corner. Running slightly wide, having to lift off the throttle momentarily through the final corner. Then into turn 1, closing into the back of the Ford GT, trying to get that 8th position. The Saleen S7 then, really good car, really good car, as he actually drives very wide. Very good on power, direct kind of car. Turns in quite nicely when it's tuned up. It does drive a lot better. You can see that actually though, once you kind of get to grips with the car, you actually can get very quick. It's not, you're going to lose 2 seconds a lap or so, but as long as you're patient and you just drive to the ability of the car rather than the ability of other people, then It's fine. There's a danger that when your car is a lot worse, which it is here because it's stock, you start trying to match other people when you perhaps physically can't do that. So all you've got to do really is just drive the car to the maximum that the car can do and just hope that it's enough, and just hope that the rest of the people murder each other, which does often happen. As the Subaru 360 there, drifting slightly wide, I'm going to go up to 7th place. Again, top half, at the end of the race, position stayed the same, crossing the line to finish in 7th, top half. Not bad results so far actually. I'm going to move on to another race. This was quite an interesting one, Suzuka East course. So just the half version. Into the first corner once again. I'm going to go with that strategy, keeping on the inside, taking it nice and easy, blocking the inside line so no one can go through on the inside. Chevrolet goes very wide, so I'm up into 5th. And then you have this twisty section here, the S's at Suzuka. As long as I can kind of just stick on the racing line, there's not much the people behind can do. As long as they don't have enough grip to go around the outside cleanly. Plymouth Prowler, ugliest car in the world, making contact with the Chevrolet. I'm up into 3rd then, although the Viper here now going to go around my outside in a good move. Having the inside then for the final corner. So this is where this car really struggles, these long corners. It just does not want to go around there at all. Up to 4th on the first lap, you see smoke getting kicked up into the air, as no doubt many people are getting shattered into dust coming out of the final turn. And as we go into the first turn, a little deep, although luckily the AstroTurf doesn't suck you off like it does in Gran Turismo, so you can actually make the most of that, and actually helps you in a way to kind of do that. You cut back for a straighter and faster exit through turn 2. So first, second, third, you can see them just ahead of us, winding around the S's. Will I be able to beat them? Probably not, unless they do make contact. I'd imagine they've got that under control though. So again, one of those races where you get into a good position at the start, just by avoiding the trouble, having a semi-good grid slot as well obviously helps, and then all the quick guys will eventually kind of filter their way through and past you. So you've got a decision to make. Shall I defend from this guy? I've got 6 laps left to defend from one person, but then by defending you're going to go slower and invite the people behind to catch up a lot easier. Now that mistake obviously doesn't help, but if you then go back past the Fast and Furious Corvette, so 5th place now, Ferrari now up into a comfortable 4th ahead as we come through the S's for the 3rd time. 8 laps here. It's a good choice of circuits we've had actually. Brands Indy maybe I would have liked to see the full version, but you don't normally see the Brands Indy circuit come up, so I suppose it's something different. Into the final turn now. We haven't actually done a VIR race, or one at night, or in the rain, so that's a bonus. So then, end of lap 3, 5 more to go. The Corvette very, very quick in a line, not much I can do to defend against that. He's going to go easily through, up into 5th. I'm in 6th place, which is kind of, well, I feel at home basically. Into turn 2. Again, proximity arrow appearing on the bottom of the screen. I know someone is close. So I'm driving okay, I'm driving within my limits and just hoping that it's enough. So top half in this race will be 8th place as long as 16 people remain. I suppose though if they quit then they're still classified as being in the race. Into the final turn. Awkward corner this, because you don't do it very often and it just goes on forever, and this car hates that. This car just hates corners that go on forever. So again, there we go, half the race done. Plymouth Prowler now coming back. So these two guys fought with each other on lap 1 and they've still kind of remained together. Plymouth Prowler through, although deep. I'm going to follow him deep as well. We both semi get sucked off at the same time, and the Corvette managed to get back through. So now down into 8th place. So again, just really on the back foot on this race. It does teach you a lot though, I think. It teaches you just to kind of keep your calm and just drive the car to its maximum, and don't really worry about the rest of the people, the remainder of the people in the race. Just do the best that you can do. So I suppose that's kind of a good tip for like endurance racing, especially when you've got other people who are like on different tyres, different drivers in the car, so they may be quicker at certain points of the race, but there's no point worrying about it. Just do the best that you can do. Into turn 1, what a moment, amazing stuff from the Corvette. Goes for a roll, just decides, screw this, I'm going to bail out and just roll my car. It makes the race more interesting, I suppose, if people start rolling their cars all the time. So now 7th, still in the top half as there's still 14 people as we now come into the final turn. Just hoping that this Plymouth Prowler and the Corvette kind of do something. They've been with each other the entire race, so I suppose the fact that they've been together for so long probably means that nothing will happen, because they've managed to go 7 laps so far without hitting each other, although they did on turn 1 or lap 1. So then, final lap of the race. I'm amazed that you're still here watching this, guys, but thank you very much for sticking around to the end. You'll of course want to see how good this Saleen S7 is in stock form. The return of the Stock Car Challenge, always good to see on the channel. This is popular, I think. I think people like the Stock Car Challenge. It is it's just a fun little challenge to do. See how many people you can beat. And I think if you're going to try it, just try and aim for the top half of the race. If you can do a race win, then you've done really well. Of course, it depends on how much PI you're giving away. But I think I managed a win in a Honda NSX once, which I was giving away about 80 PI, so I think that's my record. But here we are then, we're going to finish in the top half once again. Plenty of 6, plenty of 7s. Not a bad result. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Do suggest more cars for me to do on this challenge. So don't forget that some cars are already tuned up when you buy them, so just take that into account, what the actual PI is. But yeah, subscribe for more, hit the like button if you did enjoy. I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.